Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I decided to come in here and make a live stream / video. We have had some crazy unfortunate events that unfolded in Minneapolis, and I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and talk about it because it is starting to ramp up pretty good in Minneapolis, and all for the wrong reasons too. It's all for the wrong reasons, and it always usually is. Anytime that ICE is involved in anybody's city, I'm talking more so about Minneapolis, anytime that they're involved, anytime that ICE is involved in anything under this administration, there's always going to be some issues. Always. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter, what they're trying to do, what they're enforcing, the criminals that they're going after. None of that matters. And that's it's really sad when you think about it. When you think about the chaos that's unfolding in that city, especially after today. Am I crooked? I am. What in the world? Hang on a minute. My camera. There we go. Camera is fixed. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a, sometime earlier today. Let's go ahead and get this started. And before I get into it, welcome. This is Unofficially IMO. I am your host. And we talk about a lot of different things on this channel. A lot of things that most people would either be afraid to talk about, or just things in general that are on my mind that I want to get out there in front of the world, because I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking about the latest and greatest of what's happening in our little bubble of a world that we live in, and the amount of just craziness that is unfolding right before our very eyes. We cover it. We talk about it. Rather it's, it's something that you enjoy me talking about, or maybe you disagree with me altogether. Whatever the case is, I invite you all to sit back and relax and join me as we talk about this. MAGA, hashtag MAGA. Yes, this is MAGA country, bitch. What kind of music do you like? I like all kinds of different music, man. Country music, metal music. The older I get, the more I want to talk about or listen to country music. Country music is what I'm usually into for the most part. When in my younger days, I listened to a lot of metal music. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. Everybody's in here tonight. Yes, I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome to the live stream. It's a good one, guys. It's going to be a good one. It is going to be a good one. Dawn's in the house. Dawn is in the house. Dawn's in the house as well. Chase Nolian. Nolian. I can't pronounce her name, my man. I do apologize. Firing says hello as well. I appreciate everybody here. Welcome to the live stream. Yes. We have had we're going to turn this into a VOD as well after we're done. I usually tend to do that with my live streams. Whatever we talk about, whatever we chit chat about, it goes up as a video on demand. And everybody, please welcome. Again, welcome. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any time that I go live or that I make a video. Now, let's go ahead and get into the unfortunate events that happened in Minneapolis here today. Today is January 24th of 2026. And a U.S. Border Patrol agent fatally shot 37-year-old is okay. So we now we know his name. So we didn't know his name earlier today. Alex Preddy. I think that's how you say his name. Alex Preddy in Minneapolis during an immigration enforcement operation. Preddy, an intensive care unit nurse at a local Veterans Affairs hospital and a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry, was killed in what authorities described as confrontation. This marks as the second deadly shooting involving federal agents in the city in less than a month amid heightened immigration enforcement activities. Eyewitness videos captures the moments leading up to and including the shooting, showing Preddy in a public area on Nicollet Avenue. According to the reports, the incident escalated when Preddy reportedly drew a weapon. Details remain under investigation. The agent involved is an 8-year veteran of the Border Patrol And federal officials have stated the shooting was in response to a perceived threat. The event sparked immediate protests and clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement, leading to the deployment of the National Guard in Minneapolis. So yes, the National Guard, I'm just getting wind of that, is in Minneapolis. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz publicly criticized the Department of Homeland Security, which is DHS, account of the incident as nonsense and lies. Local leaders have demanded an end to such federal operations in the city. On the political front, several Senate Democrats, including Senator Patty Murray, have announced that they will not support the current DHS funding bill without reform to ensure accountability for agencies like ICE and Border Patrol. The NRA has also weighed in, criticizing statements from federal prosecutors as dangerous and wrong, and calling for a full investigation before generalizations are made. Social media discussions highlighted divided opinions and users calling the shooting unjustified and pointing to video evidence showing Pretty protecting a woman from pepper spray, while others emphasized the need for context from official probes. A federal investigation is ongoing with no charges filed, as the latest of these reports. Now, again, that's according to X, and giving us the latest information on that shooting here today. So what I saw, I did see this man standing in the street. I did see him standing in the street. It looked like he was blocking. He was trying to, well, it didn't look like he was doing much of anything, just standing in the street and just kind of taking his phone out and recording based on what the videos I was seeing. Then he started to wave through traffic. I think that's what he was doing. He's doing a hand gesture to wave traffic through. And the minute he did that, a woman comes into the frame, and I guess he's trying to protect this woman from doing something. And then ICE agents like shove her. So they shove her. He goes after her. He tries to protect her from falling down to the ground. I think that's what at least is what it looked like to me. He was just trying to get in the way between him and ICE agents. And then she gets pepper sprayed in the video. If you haven't seen it yet, she gets pepper sprayed. And all of a sudden the ICE agents start attacking this guy. And when they attacked him, they started, a lot of shuffling and everything going on. And, one of the videos I saw when the individual went down to the ground, it looked like the guy, one of the Border Patrol agents, it looked like he took one of the firearms from that guy. It looked like he pulled it away from the guy, like he disarmed him. And then that's when the that's when the shooting happened. I've heard other reports. I don't know how true this is. There's other reports of him supposedly that was carrying more than one firearm. He did have multiple magazines. I think he had at least two. As far as other firearms, I don't know if that's accurate or not, or if that's true. But needless to say that the whole situation didn't have to happen. It's another tragic shooting in Minneapolis that did not have to happen. Why it happened, I honestly don't know. Why is anybody down there protesting these guys? Law enforcement, local law enforcement in Minneapolis isn't helping these guys trying to get this under control, because ICE agents aren't going to go anywhere. Border Patrol's not going to go anywhere. They're going to stay there as long as they need to in order to get the job done. And people are pissed off about it for whatever reasons is unknown. I still don't understand why anybody has any issues with ICE or Border Patrol doing their job. And it's really frustrating, because that Tim Walz and that Mayor Fry guy, they're not telling law enforcement to say, hey, go help these guys. They need help. They're probably ordering local law enforcement to not do anything. Don't help ICE at all. Don't give them any information. Don't help them do anything. At least that's not, I don't see any of that happening there at all, and for me, the faster you help these guys, the quicker they're going to get out of your city, right? The quicker they get out, and you won't see any more of the protests that's going on, that's causing these unfortunate shootings that you're seeing. That's two now that we've seen in Minneapolis. And as far as I know, I think the man, as I read, I didn't know the gun laws in Minneapolis. I still don't. It's not like, I thought it was a lot more stricter than what's being reported, because I guess you can carry in that city concealed and open carry, but you need a permit. And I don't know if you need the permit with you when you are carrying a firearm. I don't know. I don't know the gun laws there. I have no idea. I just know what they are where I'm at currently in my neck of the woods. As far as Minneapolis, I have no idea. But why was he carrying a firearm at an ICE protest? You know what I mean? Like, why are you even there? Why is anybody even down there to begin with? I mean, these people just need to go home. Just go home. Just go home. Don't get out. Just get out of their way. They're trying to do a job, and you're just there to get in their way. There's no sense in it. Yes, it's unfortunate of what happened to him today, and with anybody that's involved in anything that ICE is doing there, that turns into something that shouldn't have. I feel bad for those people. I generally do, because I think I think there's something more going on with those people than what we know. Is it mental health issues? Because you're not. ICE and Border Patrol is all over the United States. They're everywhere. They're out where I'm at. They're all over the place, all over the country. But you're only seeing this in Minneapolis. Why? I mean, you're not seeing it in Florida. You're not seeing it in Texas. Not saying that it ever won't happen, but you're seeing all this chaos in Minneapolis. And Minneapolis has had a history of having some crazy shit go down, with George Floyd and the BLM riots in 2020, and just, all sorts of stuff going on. And you have to question, is everybody okay there? Is it, you guys good? You guys need a hug or something? Because, man, this is getting crazy, guys. Super, super crazy. And now we had I think it was a press conference here today from U.S. Border, I can't even talk here right now. Border Patrol came out and had a press conference, and we're going to kind of look at that together. And let me see here. 1 second. Okay. So we're going to take a look at this here today. And this is the latest, as far as I know, of what actually occurred here today. So let's hear it.
At 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien, Jose Huerta Chuma. You can see this illegal alien on the screen to my.
And a lot of people hate it, and I don't know why. This is on the books. This is the law. When you use the term illegal alien, that's what it is. You're an illegal alien in this country. And a lot of people like to call them undocumented immigrants. Well, they might be undocumented immigrants, but they're also, by law, they call them illegal aliens.
Left and right.
It's on the book.
That is Jose Huerta Chuma, whose criminal history includes domestic assault to intentionally inflict bodily harm, disorderly.
Hold on. Is this the right video, guys? Hang on a second. Bear with me. This is live, mind you, guys. This is live. I didn't put this together at the last second, but I put it together because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, man, we got to go live. So let me make sure. 9 million arrested for fearing his life. Okay. Yep. This is it. Now, I haven't seen this video yet, but this is just the latest press conference that's on here right now.
Conduct and driving without a valid license. During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted.
Now, I did see him trying. They did get into a scuffle, obviously, but I didn't see him violently get into a scuffle with ICE agents, but they weren't wrestling around. Now, when I think of violent, I'm thinking like he went down to the ground. He was throwing punches. He was throwing kicks. He was, doing all those things. That's what I think about when I think of violent. But there definitely was a scuffle, for sure.
Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Why are you bringing a gun to a protest? That's that's the question I have. Why are you bringing a firearm to a protest when you're supposed to be peacefully protesting in the street? Why bring a firearm? What's the purpose of that? Because I don't understand why somebody would want to be armed. Yeah, you want to protect yourselves no matter where you're at, right? But why bring one period to a protest, especially to a protest for ICE agents? I don't understand that. Oh, I started over by accident. Let's go here.
Also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation.
Why did it take 10 shots? I heard reports of 12 shots. Why would it take 12? I can only just tell you based on what I've heard from other local law enforcement, where they have said, whatever it takes to eliminate the threat is, how many shots does that take? 1 shot. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, 4, whatever it is. Right. So they do that to eliminate until the threat is no longer a threat. If that makes sense. That's what I have heard. That's what I have read. That's usually the case. But why excessive like that? When you look at it and you hear like, geez, 10 shots, 12 shots, 14 shots, like, geez, like why? That is a valid point. I'll give you that. That is a valid point. Why did you have to, there was, I don't know how many Border Patrol agents were there. It looked like there was probably at least, I don't know. I didn't count. I have no idea. It looked like there was a good 7 or 8 of them scuffling with this guy. But as far as like shooting him that many times, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. I think there were, I don't know how many gunshots there were. There might have been, it looked like it was from multiple agents. I don't know. I really don't know exactly how many were involved as far as like when they were shooting him. But nonetheless, yeah, 10 is a lot.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. Then, about 200 rioters arrived at the scene and began to obstruct and assault law enforcement. Crowd control measures have been deployed for the safety of the public and law enforcement. This situation is evolving, and more information is forthcoming. The officer was highly trained and had been serving as a Border Patrol agent for 8 years. The officer has extensive training as a range safety officer and less lethal officer.
Yeah. So, we're going to have to wait and see a little bit more. That's the latest from Border Patrol. But we're going to have to wait and see exactly what transpired in the coming days. But it's looking like it's not looking good as far as, crowd controls and, and things like that. Because after I saw this today, I was like, man, what's going to happen now? Like what is Minneapolis going to look like tonight? And people don't care how cold it is out there, man. The temperature, what was it? -9 degrees or something like that there in Minneapolis today when this took place. And people just do not care what the weather is. And then when I'm, crazy don't care. If you're crazy, because I think a lot of those people are crazy. Like you're out there, you're just asking for trouble. And a lot of those people aren't there to peacefully protest. A lot of those people are out there to cause trouble. Let's just be honest. I mean, come on. That's what they're doing. They're causing problems, not only for themselves, but for ICE agents and Border Patrol and, all sorts of just stuff that's not necessary that they're causing right now. And it it's just a recipe for disaster. It really is. I wanted to see exactly what Kristi Noem said too, because she came out with a press conference earlier today, and I kind of wanted to see what exactly she was referring to, because I did not get a chance to see her on her press conference. Let me let's see if we can locate it here. Okay. So it's looking like here's well, we got some clips here. I wonder if we can find what I'm trying to do, guys, is I'm trying to find a full clip of her press conference. I don't think I can find the entire clip here. Well, maybe. Let's take a look. No, that's not it either. That is not it. Let's see here. I'm a one-man operation here, ladies and gentlemen. I am a one-man operation just trying to find this stuff. And again, this was a last-minute decision trying to go live here tonight based on just the craziness that happened here today. I was like, you know what? Let's go live. Let's talk about it. Now, here's a small clip.
Claims that the individual claims that.
Here's a small clip here of her press conference. The clip's not very long, but again, from Fox News, Kristi Noem.
You just made claims that the individual posed a threat to law enforcement.
That is no claim. It is the facts. The facts of the situation. This individual showed up to a law enforcement operation with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition. Yeah. He wasn't there to peacefully protest. He was there to perpetuate violence, and he was asked to show up and to continue to resist by a governor who's irresponsible and has a long history of corruption and lying. And we won't stand for it anymore. These law enforcement officers take an oath. They get up every single day and they go out to protect the public.
So yeah, that's the thing. Like, you have to remember, guys, like these, I mean, not just ICE and Border Patrol, but any law enforcement has to swear under the same oath for the most part, right? I mean, I don't know if they're any different, but they do have to take that oath to protect the citizens of this country. And one of the things they're doing is protecting the citizens of Minneapolis, because local law enforcement is not allowed to do anything. They're not allowed to do anything. And if they do, they'll probably get in trouble for it. You know what I mean? They would probably get in trouble, and they're being told to stand down, and they're being told, nope, don't do it. And JD Vance even talked about it. He's like, well, I don't think local law enforcement they're not getting involved, and they should. And it's really unfortunate.
Many of these individuals live in their communities, and this mayor and this governor have doxed them. They have allowed people to threaten them and their families and expose their identities in order to instill fear and violence. And that's not what America is about.
And a lot of people are upset too at the fact that these guys cannot be identified, because they're wearing masks and they're wearing street clothes, and they're not easily identifiable by that. And there's a reason for that, right? They're protecting their identity. They're federal agents. You know what I mean? They have to protect themselves. Now, as far as like the street clothes thing, I understand that how that could be an issue, because anybody can get dressed up in street clothes and put a bulletproof vest on and cover their face and all this stuff. I get the fear in that, because you don't know exactly who these people are. But given the environment and given the state of this country right now, they're not just going to attack you. They're just not. They're probably going to start giving you commands to just like, hey, stop, get out of here. You know, leave this area. You have no business being here. And when they do that, then at the same time, if you're not cooperating with them, that's when things start to go south. And that's what we're seeing. When people don't cooperate with ICE, when they just decide to just, you know, do whatever they want and not comply with their verbal orders to stand down or get out of here, then things start to escalate. And that's what you're seeing, you know? and that's unfortunately, if you're not complying, things can go south very quick and you end up getting killed. These people end up getting killed because they don't know how to listen to instruction. So when law enforcement is telling you to get out of here, leave the place, put your hands up, get down on the ground, whatever it is that they're telling you to do, and you don't listen, then yeah, you're just going to cause issues for yourself, man. I just don't understand. These people are like, I don't have to do shit. I don't have to listen to you. Well, yeah, you kind of do. You kind of do. You really have to. And it's unfortunate that it ended up escalating to the point to where it obviously escalated to here today. Let me see if I can find some additional clips on from this press conference here today. I'm trying to find, like I said earlier, I'm trying to find the entire press conference, but I cannot find it for the life of me. Let's take a look at this one here. So here's another clip from the press conference. It's not very long. It's only about 35 seconds or so. So let's take a look.
And once again, I want to remind everybody that this situation and this tragedy did not have to happen. Yeah. Our law enforcement.
That's why I said it didn't have to happen. When these protesters go down there and they start impeding on ICE investigations and Border Patrol investigations, they're not there to peacefully protest for the most part. They're there to disrupt and cause issues. And that's wherein lies the problem for me. Because if you would just not be there, you could be there all you want, but just like stand back, get out of here. You don't need to be so damn close and up in their grills, so to say. You know what I mean? Just listen to what they're saying. Do what you're told. Don't cause any problems, and there won't be any issues for yourself. But they don't want to do that. They just don't want to do that.
Are doing everything that they can to protect the public. We're praying for this deceased loved one's family and friends, but we also recognize that the Minnesota governor and the Minneapolis mayor need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. They need to evaluate their rhetoric, their conversations, and their encouragement of such violence against our citizens and our law enforcement officers. And once again...
Yeah, they're not, ladies and gentlemen, that is 100% true. They are not telling protesters, listen, get out of here. Go home. You don't need to be there, guys. Let them, this whole thing could easily be unavoidable if Governor Walz and Soy Boy Fry, I call him Soy Boy Fry, if he would both of them, if they would just go to a press conference together and tell everyone, go home, get out of here. You don't need to be down there impeding on their investigation. Let them do their job. Let them do what they need to do. And then the faster you accept that they're here and they're here to do a job and they're here to just get the criminals out of the city that have no business being here, then when they instruct these individuals to go home and leave these people alone, then most likely they will. Like, okay, the governor is telling us to go home, but at the end of the day, are they going to listen? Who knows at this point? Who knows? But if they would just go home, get out of there, and leave these guys alone, you wouldn't be seeing any of this stuff. You wouldn't be seeing any of it. Any of it. Like whatsoever. None. I have a police officer, highway state patrol officer that lives down the street from me. And he, every time I talk to him, pull somebody over that shouldn't be in this country. They're an illegal, came across the border during the Biden administration, wherever they've been here for years and years and years. And then they say, well, we just call ICE and ICE comes and gets them. No problem. No issues whatsoever. Right. And ICE is there to get people that shouldn't be here out of this country. And then all of a sudden people in Minneapolis just have a problem with that. I just don't understand. I don't get it, man. They're trying to protect you. They're just trying to protect you. That's it. And they're trying to do a job that they swore an oath to do, to uphold the Constitution. And you got guys out there saying like, violate the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, the 10th Amendment, 14th Amendment, all these, they're throwing out all these different amendments and shit. And I'm just like, did you even read any of those amendments, can you tell me what they are word for word? Everybody knows the First Amendment. Everybody knows the Second Amendment. But what about the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever? And a lot of people just, they throw these things out there. They're violation of the 14th Amendment. What is that? What does it say? What does it say? You know, like, oh, these ICE agents and Donald Trump and all these guys are in violation of the Constitution and all this other shit. I'm like, okay, whatever. That's your opinion. It's probably wrong, but that's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. I respect it. But a lot of these guys are just trying to protect you, and they don't want any part of that. They really don't. They just, I think that what they're trying to do is these leaders, the governor and the mayor, I think they're just trying to get people in such an uproar and cause such chaos and destruction in their city. I think they're doing it on purpose. I think they're literally doing it on purpose. And when they come out there and they start saying all these things, they're not helping anything. Do you, honest to God, think that Donald Trump is going to let something like this affect him and cause ICE agents to get out of the city and tell them to get out of there? No, it's not. And all he's going to do is just send in more ICE agents and more Border Patrol, because they have they have got so much. There's so many illegal immigrants in this country, all these illegal aliens. They have, like, that's why when you go back to like the days of Obama, when he deported like 5.5 million people or whatever it was, you heard nothing about it. You heard nothing about it when Bill Clinton was in office deporting people. You heard nothing about it during the Bush administration. You heard nothing about it, nothing whatsoever. When Biden got in office and opened the borders to the entire fucking planet, that's when you started seeing all these millions upon millions of people coming across the border, and you see numbers of illegal immigration that no one's ever heard of or seen before. There's no difference between ICE doing their job in 2008, 2015, 2024. Under the last three administrations, there's no difference of how they do their job. The only difference is there is a major influx of illegal aliens coming into this country. 15, 20 times the amount of people coming here that shouldn't be here. That is way more volume that they have to handle and that they have to attack. So that's going to look like we're trying to go into your city and invade your city. That's what it looks like for most people. Like, you got all these federal agents coming into my city, invading. They feel like it's an invasion or something. No, it's a huge influx of ICE agents because they got to get them out. They got to get them out. And there's a scene of a guy in a truck driving through, somebody filming. It's kind of, from like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And an ICE agent is saying, he stops, he's in his pickup truck. He's like, you're protecting these criminals. He's telling that to the individual filming what they were doing at that house in Minneapolis. They were trying to get an illegal immigrant out of here. And they were there just filming and yelling and screaming at these guys. And this ICE agent's like, you know what you're doing here, right? You're literally here protecting the criminal. The very person that has done some very bad shit and doesn't need to be here and is not allowed to be here. We're trying to get him out of here, and you're standing up for the criminal. You're protecting them. That's what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was saying. Like, it's just like, who's okay with that? I'm not okay with that. Are you? Are you okay with having criminals that have done some really nasty, fucked up, off the wall shit that your sweet little virgin ears probably have never heard of before? Are you okay with that? I'm not okay with people being here that shouldn't be here, that have done some really horrible shit to people. I'm not okay with that. And people tend to forget all the individuals that have died at the hands of illegal aliens in this country over the last 5 years, 6 years. You know what I mean? Since 2020, people tend to forget about that stuff. Go talk to their families. And I've said this in the past too. If you go talk to the families right now that have lost loved ones to illegal immigrants, that their loved ones were killed by people that shouldn't be here. Go talk to those families and ask for their opinion on hey, what you're seeing in Minneapolis, what you're seeing across the United States with ICE doing their job, trying to get these people out. What's your take on it? And I guarantee you, some of these people are going to have an opinion that you're probably not going to be either not going to be okay with or you're going to agree with. You know what I mean? You got people out there that are much smarter than me. You got commentators out there and content creators out there that are talking about this stuff, like Megyn Kelly and, Brandon Tatum and Mark Dice and all those guys that I look up to as political commentary individuals and content creators on YouTube. They are way smarter than me on this stuff. And especially Megyn Kelly, like she is vicious about what's going on right now. And she makes so much sense, and just go listen to what she's saying. And she's pissed off at the entire thing too, because people just will not leave these ICE agents alone, man. They just won't. They just won't. And it's causing problems. If you would just fucking leave these guys alone, you would not see any of the shit that you're seeing right now. You just wouldn't. You just wouldn't. And it's unfortunate when you see, situations as what we saw today, another shooting from when I saw it, I thought it was ICE, but it ended up being Border Patrol. But when you see it, and you see it from all these different camera angles, and again, it's still pretty early, right? It usually takes about a day or two for other facts to come out about what transpired and what took place. But what I saw on that video today, had that man stopped and just not resisted, he'd still be alive. He'd still be alive. And I guarantee you, all these other smart guys out there, Megyn Kelly, all this, and they'd probably agree with me. Had he just not disobeyed and followed orders and listened to these ICE agents, none of this shit would have happened, guys. None of it would have happened. And I just don't get I don't get the pushback. Because let me ask you a legitimate question here. If your favorite administration, let's just say you voted for Joe Biden, and you saw this happening under Joe Biden's administration, would you be okay with it? I'm talking this same exact thing that's happening right now. Would you be okay with it? And there's people out there that would probably, honestly, sit there and tell you, yeah, it's fine. They're doing their job. But now Trump's sitting there doing it. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. It just depends on who the president is, guys, at the end of the day. Because Obama did it. Nobody had a fucking problem when Obama went in there and did it. Nobody fucking cared. I'm just going to say it. Nobody gave a rat's ass. They really didn't. They did not care. Because when Obama was in there deporting people out of this country left and right every single day, nobody batted an eye. Under Tom Homan, mind you, guys. And I talked about this on a previous live stream. Under the same guy, Tom Homan. Doing the same thing he's doing now, but a different president. Nobody gave a shit. You didn't see what you see today. You just didn't. You didn't. And Obama has deported more people than any president. I think under Trump's first term in office, I think he deported I don't know the exact number, but I think it was like 1.5 million under his first term. And I think Obama's entire 8 years he was president, I think it was 5.5 million deportations out of this country. 5.5 million. Mind you, from ICE, from Border Patrol, probably from local law enforcement, helping out, getting involved, all this different stuff, right? A lot of stuff probably took place. Nobody cared. You didn't see what you're seeing. I didn't see the uproar that we're seeing today. And just because Donald Trump's in there and he's trying to clean up a mess And it's not pretty. It's not pretty to a lot of people because of the influx of illegal immigrants in this country, of illegal aliens in this country. It's a mess. So when you have a mess to clean up, it's a mess. It's going to take time. It's not going to look pretty to a lot of people, and you're going to have a lot of hiccups. And if people would just cooperate, like just stop. Just stop. It's all you have to do. Just stop. If you want to protest, but do it in a way that doesn't get in the way of these individuals' jobs, right? A lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, and that's fine. That's okay. That's fine. But man, I was surprised that there was another shooting today, but I wasn't at the same time, because I'm like, oh, okay, what happened now? What happened now? And I can't speculate and pinpoint the exact facts because we have no idea. We have no idea exactly what happened. We'll probably know. Obviously, we're knowing more by the hour of what's going on. We'll probably see more camera footage, more video footage from individuals as the days go along. And you're going to start seeing a lot more riots, more protests. You're going to see a lot more, let's just say it, guys, a lot of unhinged people out there. It's just a lot of unhinged people. So it's a lot of white women out there too. It's like a lot of probably a lot of white single women and a couple of dudes that I see out there protesting. You know, I mean, that's just what I see. And, it is. It's every time I've seen them out there, it's just a lot of white people out there that are protesting or pissed off. A lot of Trump haters. That's what I see too. A lot of single white Trump haters out there. And the reason why I say they're single, they're probably single and they're not married and they don't have any children. And they're pissed off at the world and they have TDS, a severe case of TDS, like bad. And if they weren't single and they were married and they did have children and they did have a stable relationship with their parents and they love their husband, they love their spouse, they love their wife, you wouldn't be seeing them out there. You just wouldn't. Because a normal person would sit there and say, I'm not going out there and fucking getting in trouble with these guys. I'm not going out there trying to catch a felony. I got too much shit to do. I have a family to take care of. I have a job to do. I have bills to pay. I cannot afford to go out there and protest with my little cardboard sign about something that's not going to make a damn bit of difference, because they're not leaving. They're not going anywhere. So why are you going down there causing a ruckus? If you weren't single and you had a family and you had children, you were married, you had a stable job, you had a good career going for yourself, you don't have time. Who the fuck has time? Sorry, I'm dropping F-bombs. I apologize. But who has time? Who has time to do this? Do you? Do you have time to do this? I'll be honest with you. I don't have time to go out there at like 1:00 in the afternoon on like a Wednesday with my sign that has been written with a Sharpie of fuck Donald Trump or, burn in hell ICE. I don't have time. I don't know if that's what they say, but I don't have time to do that. That takes time. And there's been reports that these protesters are probably, I don't know if this is true or not, but a lot of them are probably paid to go out there because it's organized protest from somebody that's probably slipping a few bucks to these guys to go out there and cause issues. Like here's $100. Go out there for like an hour and scream and shout and say all this horrible shit to these guys and, get yourself in trouble. Or it could be people throwing all sorts of money at this, thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't know. In my opinion, these guys are getting paid to go out there and protest, because why would you want to go out there and get fucking shot by ICE or border? I don't want to. I'm good. I am good. I'm good. You know, even if I disagreed with what these guys are doing, even if I disagreed, I would say I ain't going down there, y'all. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not going down there. You know what I mean? And you start hearing reports about, at least like where I'm at, of people saying, well, we have stand your ground laws and all this other stuff. And they're talking about if ICE comes to your town and they pull, and you got masked individuals that pull you out of your car that aren't identifying themselves, and all this other shit about, you know, like what your rights are as a responsible gun owner in your state and all this stuff. I'm like, these people, I'm not going to get into the statistics of what some of the attorney general said in my state, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, the shit that's flying out of her mouth is so irresponsible and stupid about what she's saying about stand your ground laws here, where I'm located and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you're going to get people hurt, man. You're going to get people, if people aren't going to get hurt, they're going to catch a felony or 2 or 5. You know what I mean? What the reasonable, responsible law enforcement, local law enforcement or governor or mayor of your state or city, what they should be saying, in my opinion, and again, this is all my opinion. I could be fucking wrong on all counts, but it's my opinion, right? This is what I think. I think if the mayor of any state or any city or governor of any state would come out and just say, hey, listen, do not get in these guys' way. Do not get in their way. Let them do what they need to do. Everybody will be safe. Everybody will be okay. Everything will be peachy. I'm just kind of, I'd be a little more, professional than that, obviously. But I would sit there and literally tell these people, go home, get out of here, guys, go home, go protest over there. There's a park right over there. It's open to the public. You know, there's a street over there, like 500 feet away. Go over there, but they're not doing that. They're literally all up in their grill, like right here. And they're screaming and yelling at these guys. I'm like, that's just going to spark into a whole nother situation. And it's so avoidable that it's so easy to avoid that people stumble over it. You know what I mean? People just have a problem with it. And nobody is saying that you're not allowed to protest. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is disagreeing with you going out there and protest. Protest all you want. I'm a big union guy. I think people that go out there and hold up, go on the sidewalk at their local at the place of employment that are unionized, and they're pissed off at their pay being low, and they're pissed off about whatever that the company's doing to them. I'm okay with people unionizing. I think that's a great thing, but it's kind of the same thing, right? But what you see is, and I'm okay with protesting. You can protest all you want. It's a way to get your First Amendment across, right? To talk, shout it out loud. Who shout it? It's your right to go out there and do that. Absolutely, 100% all day. Just do it safe. Don't be a dumbass about it. That's all. Don't be stupid. And these people are just being stupid. And it's getting them in trouble, or it's getting them killed. And Mayor Frey, I call him Fry, or Soy Boy Fry. He goes out there and he says all this shit, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help. It never does. It just causes people to get pissed off and even more upset and even more of an excuse to keep doing what they're doing. He's not calming down the rhetoric. Neither's Donald Trump, to be fair. But he's got a job to do. His job is to protect the citizens of this country. And that's what he's doing. So he's doing his job. Now it's the job of the governor and the mayor of that state or city to do the same thing. Hey, we have a job to do. We swore an oath as well to uphold the Constitution to protect the citizens of our state, of our city. And it, to me, it sounds like the complete opposite. It sounds like, go out there and fuck around and find out. Yeah, go out there and protest and cause issues for yourself. That's what I hear. I hear go out there and get yourself in trouble. I think a responsible mayor would say that enough's enough, guys. Yeah, we want ICE out of our state, but they have responsibilities, just like local law enforcement has responsibilities to do what they swore an oath to do. And unfortunately you're not seeing that. You're seeing them just getting people pissed off. That's what I see. You're just pissing people off. And all they have to do is say, "Go home. You're done here, guys. Go home." And you could easily enforce local law. Like, you could tell your local law enforcement, "Hey, we're going to help these guys calm the rhetoric down." If you have to literally block off streets for ICE to go do their thing, that's fine too. So they can hurry up and just get it done, right? But that you don't see that. And also too, Minneapolis, I think after the BLM riots of 2020, the summer of peaceful protests, as a Wendy's burned down to the ground. You guys remember that? You remember that scene where the journalist from, I think it was ABC News or CBS News, and he's sitting there talking. I don't remember this guy's name. He's like, "Yeah, it's mostly peaceful protests," and as like a building, I think it was a Wendy's, was literally on fire behind him. I thought we were going to see that this weekend. I thought we were going to see people literally repeat the BLM riots of 2020. That's what I thought was going to happen. I haven't seen the local news. Is that happening? That's not happening, is it? No. Okay. We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just and for me, it's all self-inflicted things that these people are doing to themselves, because again, if you are a busy person, you have things going on in your life that you need to focus more on. The last thing on my list is to go just disrupt these people's day. It's not on my list of things to do. You know what I mean? Even if I was really upset about a situation that's unfolding before my very eyes, that my local government is doing, or the government in itself is doing, or the Supreme Court, or that is upholding something that people don't agree with, I still wouldn't go protest, because I don't feel like protest changes anything to a certain extent. I don't think it does. I think it just creates a conversation, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change the narrative of what's going on. Most of the time it doesn't, and nobody's saying not to protest. Just be responsible. That's all. But to me, I think it's a waste of time, because I generally believe it doesn't do anything. I don't think it does anything. I think it because look what's happening. I think it causes more problems. I think it causes more issues in itself. I really do. I think it makes people unhinged, and it makes them do things they normally wouldn't do, because they're hearing somebody saying it on saying all sorts of crazy shit here. You got another guy saying a bunch of crazy shit here, and then you start hearing all this crazy shit from other people and other leaders and stuff, and then it gets you all riled up. You're like, yeah, fuck them, I'm gonna go do it. because they're encouraging me to do it. So I'm going to go do it. I don't have time for that. I just don't. And if you do, I think you got too much time on your hands. I think you got way too much time on your hands. I really do. Because it takes time. I mean, think about it. You have to go down there. You have to find a place to park without being towed in a no parking zone, right? You got to figure out where to park. Then you gotta walk to wherever the protest is at. Then you gotta write shit on sign, and then you got to go down there and march in -9 degree weather or 3 degree weather or whatever it is. That takes a lot of energy. I just don't have. And you got to deal with people and traffic and just bullshit. All bullshit. I ain't got time for it. Who does? And if you do, like I said, you got to go start a business. Go find a job, get a career, and I guarantee you that there are employers watching this shit of the people getting involved in this stuff. Oh yeah. That's happening. Oh yeah. They're watching, especially local businesses in Minneapolis. They're watching. They don't want to hire somebody that's going down there and disrupting and causing problems. No employer wants that. So that's happening. I'm just a poor excuse for a human being. Again, I don't know if you're talking to me or not, but hey, that's your right as an American citizen to disagree. Protest works to a certain extent. It gets conversation going. It gets people to look at what the events that are actually unfolding from the people, right? It's a conversation starter. It gets people in a conference room to potentially make decisions for the changes that you're protesting for. But for the most, like this kind of protest that you're seeing in Minneapolis, I don't think it's going to change anything. I think the only thing it's changing is you getting not having a felony prior to going down there, and then all of a sudden you get arrested. Now you have a felony or a potential misdemeanor that you never had before, and you're going to regret it 5-6 years from now. You're going to be like, what the fuck was I thinking? Why did I do that? Because now it's affecting my life. You know what I mean? It's affecting my ability to find a stable career because I got a fucking felony on my record that I shouldn't have had because I was being stupid. You know what I mean? Protest all you want. It's the beauty part about living in America. Just be responsible about it. Don't be an idiot. And what you're seeing in Minneapolis, you're seeing a lot of people that are just being dumb about the whole entire thing. Like just stop. Just stop. That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I'm not the only one saying this stuff either. You know, you got people like Megyn Kelly out there. Just go watch Megyn Kelly. I mean, she's fucking ruthless, man. She is ruthless. Way smarter than me. You know, I'm just an old boy here behind a microphone with an opinion or two. Like, she's a lawyer. She's been on Fox News. She's a credible news anchor. She's just super smart. She knows exactly what the fuck's going on, and she's way more intelligent than I am. And she has said some really, 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 she has some really good points about what's happening in Minneapolis. So if you want a lawyer's perspective of what's happening there, go watch Megyn Kelly. She's great at this. And you know, you got guys like Mark Dice. I haven't seen a lot of stuff from Mark Dice lately. But he's the same way. I mean, the dude's he's ruthless as fuck too. I mean, he doesn't care what people think. None of them do. None of them care. You know, they could talk about what's happening in Minneapolis, and if somebody has a problem with it, they'd be like, "That's a you thing, not me, man. I'm sorry. You know, go start your own YouTube channel and have an opinion for yourself." You know what I mean? But a lot of these, when I want to know what's happening in Minneapolis, I watch a little bit. We watch Fox News. We watch MS Now to see what they're talking about. And we watch even Don Lemon, of all people, get his side of the story of what happened, even though what he did was kind of, you know what I mean? And I get a wide variety of different opinions from all over the place. You know what I mean? And when you hear what's actually really going on from those individuals, you start to really think to yourself, I'm like, man, what's happening there is really unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's really unfortunate. And these guys have a very good understanding of the law and, all the things that are actually unfolding there. And that's where I usually get my Reddit. Like, if I really want to, for me, for us, we watch a lot of Megyn Kelly. And we think she's fantastic. She's probably, in my opinion, I think Megyn Kelly is probably the best journalist on the internet right now, next to Tucker Carlson. Is anybody a Tucker Carlson fan? Is anybody a fan of Tucker? Does anybody like Tucker Carlson? He's been getting a lot of bad, some heat lately from all over the place, but it's just because he has an opinion. Huge fan of Tucker Carlson, man. We watched him religiously on Fox News. Religiously. Love that guy. The best opening monologues I've ever seen from a journalist. Ever. And I think Megyn Kelly's number 2. Tucker and her just don't give a fuck, man. Like, oh, your feelings are hurt. Okay. That's yeah. Okay. What do you want me to do about it? Would you want a cookie? Get out of here. They have a way with words that piss people off. They really do. But that's just a beauty part of their personality. But for me and you guys, when you listen to me talk, I probably cause issues for yourself. For the haters in the chat, you probably hate a lot of the stuff that's coming out of my mouth, and that's totally fine. But when you hear me say those things, if you don't like what I have to say, that means I'm doing my job right, because I'm causing you to think and to respond, and that means I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Is to say things that cause people to just not necessarily lose their mind, but people just get pissed off at the craziest shit anymore. They really do. Can't say anything. You can't agree with anybody without somebody getting butthurt over it. And that's okay. I don't mind it at all. It doesn't bother me. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if from my news sources of like where I find things, I usually go to Megyn Kelly. I'll go to Fox News. I'll go to Mark Dice. A lot of other independent content creators on YouTube usually have the facts straight before major news media gets a hold of it. And that's true. Like, they're usually independent journalists on X and Facebook and stuff. Like, all those guys are on top of it way before legacy news media gets a hold of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's usually where I get my stuff from, because they're credible sources as well, But somebody asked in the chat a couple live streams ago, they said, made a comment about my sunglasses, and they said, what did they say? They said, where'd you get those? At a gas station? And we were all like, well, if gas station sells Oakleys, then I guess so. Because that's the thing. When you say something that pisses somebody off, they start to make fun of your looks. They're like, oh, I hate your stupid sunglasses, or why do you wear sunglasses? First of all, the reason why I wear sunglasses is because it's bright as hell in this command center. I call it the command center in here, my studio. It's bright as hell in here, number one. And number two, it's just part of my personality. There's a lot of people that wear sunglasses, content creators too, mind you. A lot of them. And it's just part of who I am as a person. and being in bright rooms with all these bright lights, it can cause me to have some squinting and a little bit of a headache after a while. So the sunglasses kind of help tone that down. But yeah, somebody picked on me for having the sunglasses. And maybe it's like, why do you wear a hat? Your hat's stupid. Like, I don't like your facial hair. When you start, the point I'm making is like, when you start saying things that make people mad, they start picking on you. They start being bullies. For like me having an opinion, everybody wants to make fun of you. It's kind of sad. Like, what did I do to you? Jeez. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to go live here today to talk about the unfortunate events that we're seeing in Minneapolis. And it is unfortunate. A lot of the times that you see people talk about this, you're going to think that they don't give a shit. Oh, you don't care about what's happening in Minneapolis. Actually, I do. I care about the safety of not just the ICE agents and Border Patrol, but I care about the safety of other people. There's no reason for you to go down there and potentially get yourself in trouble, get thrown in jail, fined, and all this stuff. Like, there's no sense in it. There's no reason for it. It's not worth it, is what I'm trying to say. And hopefully, sooner rather than later, ICE and truthfully, ICE will leave eventually. They will get out of that city when they're done, but they're not done. And they're going to move on to another city, and a lot of people think that they're not in my city. Like, they're all over the place, man. They're all over the United States. They're everywhere. And the reason why that they're having the problems that they're having right now is because you have people that are out of control and unhinged, and you have two people that positions of power that are not toning down the rhetoric that you're seeing right now. As a matter of my opinion, they are encouraging it, and they're not doing anything to stop it. And Donald Trump isn't going to stop doing his job. He's just not. He's going to continue to keep doing what he's doing to protect the people of this country. And that's the bottom line. It's the bottom line. Your job as a leader too, as well. I'm talking from both sides, not just in Minneapolis and the presidency. Even Donald Trump of all people should probably use better language as well. Let's not be totally one-sided about this. Donald Trump should probably say some nicer things, right? And maybe help tone down the rhetoric, so to say. He could be saying things too. He could say, hey, I'm just kind of saying, like, we're here to do the job. We're here to protect you guys. We're here to get people out of this country that don't need to be here. Like, really bad people, really bad criminals. Once we do that, then we'll leave. But in the meantime, peacefully protest away from these guys so they could do their job and everybody's safe and everybody goes home tonight. Right? Donald Trump could say something like that. I think JD Vance is Donald Trump's like little person on his shoulder. It is, or not shoulder, but that's like Donald Trump's like, hey, what I meant to say was this. This is what I'm actually really trying to say, because Donald Trump has no filter. He just says whatever he wants. And you got the professional side of Donald Trump, which is JD Vance, the one guy that is like, all right, so what I'm trying to say is this, right? So that's because when you watch JD Vance's press conference the other day, I think it was on Friday, yesterday, I think it was yesterday. He was saying all sorts of stuff that are like, if Donald Trump would talk like that, people would probably wouldn't be as angry at that man as they are all the time. And JD Vance if he would be a little bit more like JD Vance as far as like his delivering of the message he's trying to get across, I think people wouldn't be as unhinged as they are now. And, and eventually, this will all come to an end. We'll move on. People will move on. ICE agents will move on. Border Patrol will move on. The protests will stop. Everything will stop eventually at some point. And I just don't want that on my conscience. If I was just somebody that is just down there just to cause issues, and then years down the road, you look back on that time and you're like, man, that was stupid. That was irresponsible and stupid. I shouldn't have went down there. I caused issues for myself. I caused problems. And that's not the person I am anymore. And I regret doing what I did. You know how many people have done stuff that they sit there, and that includes all of you guys. How much shit have you done in your past that you wish that you'd never done? Like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. You know, regrets maybe is a better word for it. How many of you guys regretted doing something in your life and said to yourself, you know, years later down the road, fuck, that was stupid. Why did I do that? That was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. That's what I think a lot of these protesters are going to do. They're going to look back at this time and they're going to say to themselves, whatever the fuck I was thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea whatsoever what the hell I was thinking. That was stupid. Should have never have done that. And I regret every bit of what I did during that time period because I was crazy. And now Donald Trump's not president. It's probably going to be JD Vance. And that's just going to make people even more pissed off. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for all of you this evening. I appreciate you guys coming in here, saying hello. Yeah, I did not get a chance to look at the chat because if I continue to look at the chat, I'd be on here for 24 hours just arguing with people that don't like me. And I don't want to do that. I want everybody to be nice, treat everybody with respect. You know what I mean? And we'll all get along together and we'll all be happy and we'll sing Kumbaya. We just will, right? And if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, especially if you are new here. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Come on, guys. You know you want to do it. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And give me a thumbs up while you're at it too. Just give me a little thumbs up. We will get through this together. Make America great again. Yeah. And we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. And we will make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out tonight. All right, guys. Hey, love y'all. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss any time I go live or upload a video. And until next time, enjoy your rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see all of you guys on the next live stream. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys.